The origins of Sweetwater goes back, well over 40 years ago. Started with Chuck, our founder, in this VW bus, rolling out 100 feet of cable into a small little bar or small church and recording artists in the VW bus. He had recording systems, and then that evolved into him having a studio. A couple decades ago, we landed here in this location. About a quarter of the building existed, and over the last 15 to 20 years, we've expanded and expanded and expanded and expanded out.
There's a story of innovation at Sweetwater that's more than people expect here between two cornfields in Indiana. But what I fell in love with was Chuck's vision for developing true relationships with customers and using that technology really as a funnel to meet new customers, invite them into that sort of unique experience where we get to know you, interact with you. Hey, what are you putting those guitar strings on? Oh, you have a collection of guitars. Let's talk about that. And so we're getting to know customers at a much deeper level. That's what I fell in love with. The heart and soul of our company, these 600 what we call sales engineers, recruited from all over the country, with a real prestige in music before you ever get hired here. And then when you get to Fort Wayne, the first thing you do is go through 13 weeks of what we call Sweetwater University. It's the most intense product training that I've ever seen, because we want to, when a customer calls in, we want to make sure we're an expert on any product that you might talk about.
It definitely is not easy to be a salesperson here at Sweetwater. You go through several interviews and several tests before you're hired. And then once you're hired, we have 13 weeks of training that we call Sweetwater University, and I have a degree in audio engineering. I learned way more in Sweetwater U than I did, in school, because we're learning conceptually things behind like signal flow in a recording studio and with large format consoles. How does that all work? So if you're a sales engineer, you have to know just about everything that's on our website. We have to know and be professionals on all that stuff. The confidence in the products that we sell comes from really all of the training that we go through. We get to meet with manufacturers who will bring out new equipment and show us the new stuff, what's going on, train us on that. The majority of manufacturers that we work with will also leave equipment for us in our sales resource center. And it's like a library of gear that is free to check out for us. If I want to experiment with a new Strymon delay pedal, I can go to my sales resource center and I can check that out, take it home, and I could use it on a gig, in my studio, whatever I want, and then bring it back and have real world experience with that. I'm not aware of any other resellers that have that kind of resource.
One thing you learn about Chuck is, as we have grown over the years and moved into different product categories, Chuck never wanted to come in and just take market share, but every time we moved into a category, it's what can we do that's additive for the industry? And with guitars, that was very specifically around, obviously we want to make sure that we're standing behind a really quality experience and that guitar is not going to arrive with any, issues. But more than that, it's an emotional purchase. I'm buying this guitar, I want to hear it, feel it, play it. And so we, as an online retailer, want to bridge that experience as close as we can.
Between the guitar gallery and guitar shop, you have roughly about 180 guitar-focused techs.
Guitar Gallery is a part of Sweetwater department where we do a 55-point inspection on every new instrument that we sell over $399. We at Sweetwater will receive the guitar. We'll let it acclimate and get up to temp for 24 hours. We do that because we don't want to shock the finish by opening it too soon in a different climate change. From there, we'll come to the Guitar Gallery. We're going to unbox it. We're going to verify that all the accessories that should have came with it did. We're going to verify that the case looks like it's in good condition. Once we've done that, it's actually going to go to our inspector. The inspector is then going to do the cosmetic check, the playability test, check the electronics, and check the hardware. They're going to view that guitar under two different sets of lights. So not only are we looking at it under a bright 5K white shop light, we also want to look at it under a 3K yellowish light that would be what would resemble what's in a customer's home. They're going to adjust the relief and the truss rod to manufacturer spec. They're going to adjust the action to manufacturer spec, and then we're going to correct intonation. And then from there, once that guitar passes, they're going to polish it up. They're going to send it to photo.
The photo area is crucial for us and our customers. If you're buying a 10 top PRS, all of those tops are great, but they're all different. You might have wide flame or a much more narrow flame, maybe a little quilting going on. And when you're spending that kind of money, you want to be able to at least know what you're getting. as opposed to looking at a stock image and just, praying to Paul, please make this good,
From there, it's going to go to tune and polish. So we're going to tune it back up right before it ships out, give it one last wipe down. We're actually going to weigh the instrument at tune and polish as well. So now as a customer, when you're looking on our website, you can see the exact guitar you want with the exact finish or flame in the top. You can pick the weight. You can pick the serial number, which we've had customers pick because, hey, the serial number matches my kid's birthday. This is really cool, right? From there, it's going to go to rebox. On the front side of the process, we got to unwrap all the Christmas presents. Now we got to wrap them back up nice and tight. And then from there, the DC team will pick it up and it'll either go to shipping if it was sold or it'll go to the shelves.
We provide what we call total confidence coverage. We put a 2-year warranty on every guitar that we sell that says, regardless of what the manufacturer covers or doesn't cover, we've got everything covered for 2 years. So if you buy a guitar at Sweetwater and you get it and you think there's something wrong with it, we will help you figure out if there is. And if there is, we'll bring it here and we'll repair it.
You can sell products all day long, but if you don't back it up and help people when they have problems and guide them through it or fix it or replace it or in our case, in the guitar operations, maybe even improve it when you've worn it out. That is what this company is all about to me. And I think it's unmatched anywhere else in the industry.
There's about 60 or 70 or so guitar techs in the guitar shop. That's where we do all post-sale modifications, what we call installs, some repairs, some restorations, personalized setups.
If you're buying a guitar and you're going to be playing hard rock and you want high output pickups and the guitar you like the look of doesn't have those high output pickups, then we'll sell you some and we can install it. So when you get it, that work is all done and you just open it up and you're ready to go. I mean, shoot, I've seen them put Floyd Rose on a Telecaster. Like they can literally do anything and at very, very high levels.
One of our cool personalization steps is the customer gets to select the string brand, string gauge from our inventory to pair with the guitar before we ship it. When they choose a setup, they go through a process with their sales engineer, a questionnaire, where that sales engineer will ask them a list of questions. What kind of player are you? What style do you play? Do you play in a band? Are you a beginner? Do you have years of experience? Down to the technical details, what kind of feel do you want? Do you know what kind of feel you want? If you don't, we're going to help you get to that point and understanding what your feel is.
The Plek process is about improving the fretwork. So lots of manufacturers use a Plek machine in their manufacturing process. We get asked this kind of all the time of, well, why should I invest in this when the manufacturer already did this type of work when it was built? And the answer is guitars are made out of wood. They settle, they swell, they do all of these things. After that guitar is already acclimated, it is settled, it is a guitar. It is not on its way to becoming a guitar. We are running that guitar, that exact serial number through this exact process that is designed for this exact customer. And what the results of that are now the frets, instead of having some slight variances, now those frets are perfectly level, crowned perfectly, polished perfectly, and then set up to those standards that are our world-class standards. Our setups have 14 different points of measurements that are all plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch. And if you buy 10 guitars from Sweetwater and get them all set up through our shop, I guarantee they will be identical, every single one of them, down to that degree of accuracy. We don't have any cherry picking, it's just like the guitar goes to the person. So those are metrics for success. It means that we can trust our team in that way, that every single person on the team delivers at the same rate of quality.
What makes Sweetwater different from a guitar tech's perspective is that here you will be exposed to every single possible kind of instrument. If you're cutting your teeth as a metal guy and you're giving people shredder setups, like that's fine and good, but here you're gonna have to work on banjos, you're gonna have to work on Martins, you're gonna have to work on everything under the sun with strings in it. So if you aspire to be a really excellent guitar tech, there's nowhere where you'll be able to get exposure to all that like Sweetwater.
We work our career path in a way that We hire into the guitar gallery, into the inspection world. We train them through the process of how to inspect a guitar, 55-point inspection. As they work through that, they work into repairs.
When I came here 4.5 years ago, I started as a summer intern. And at the end of the internship, I was planning to go to a luthier school for a 2-year degree. But the people here actually decided to encourage me to stay on and work through the training process. So I stayed on here at Sweetwater, starting as a level 1 install tech. And then I worked my way up through, eventually got to the repair tech role. And then in the last couple of years, I've gotten to become a luthier. I think one of the coolest things that I got to have my hands on and work on here at the guitar shop was a 1924 Gibson Stylo. It came in for some structural repair. I made a pearl nut for the guitar, which was period correct. And just being able to be part of the story of a 100-year-old guitar is just so inspiring.
Nobody is doing what Sweetwater is doing, so it was just excited to come be part of such a huge operation with such scope.
I was immediately hit with the scale of this place. In my shop, I mean, if I could make 3 people a day really happy, that is a pretty big win to do by myself. Here, we're able to make literally thousands of people happy every single day. It's just a scale I could have never imagined being involved with.
The evolution of what we do is all based on customer feedback. And we've got this idea where we're always looking to improve, the 1% better, every day, every week. How do we do that? How do we take care of the customer in a better way than we did yesterday or last year?
We go around and talk about Kaizen, constant improvement. It's really not only in the guitar world, but it's in our sales team and how we take care of our customers, our relationship with our partners. If there's ever an opportunity to do something better, we go ahead and try to do something better.
The culture is so important to us. We've moved all of these musicians from across the country here to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and our one campus, about 2,500 employees here. And so we want to create a culture where you can immediately make friends and become part of a community here. And we invest pretty deeply into the amenities in this culture, the arcade, the concierge, the diner, the salon, because we want to sort of ease the burdens of life, if you will, and create a place where we can have that community, because we want our employees to just come in and be happy here so that we can reflect that positivity into the phone calls with customers. It's rock and roll, it's a high passion industry, and we want to make sure that when we're interacting with customers that the employees are happy and therefore customers are happy too.
A customer that comes into the music store can also visit our coffee shop. We're able to keep everything on site, so whatever that customer may need here in the building, we have access to most of it. I love to say, not only do we have the physical big store, but any customer coming on site can access anything in our distribution center. So the great thing is our physical store and our distribution center are, a couple football fields apart. And that customer could walk in our store and go, I want to try that out, or I want to see this. And even if we don't have it in the store, within a reasonable amount of time, 10, 15 minutes, we could have that product pulled in. It could be a keyboard, it could be a guitar, it could be this cool amplifier that isn't available in most markets. We have it.
A lot of customers that drive in, for hours, they'll drive 4 or 5 hours to come into Sweetwater and spend the whole weekend here, play drums, and they'll play guitars. They'll go through the synth room or the keyboard room. They'll bring the whole family with them or their whole band with them. They'll walk out at the end of a weekend with a whole truckload full of new gear.
Our relationship with Sweetwater and D'Addario is pretty fantastic in multiple ways. Not only is D'Addario a great partner, if we even step into our guitar gallery process, we had a team from D'Addario come in and walk us through their lean manufacturing process to help our system improve. And so our current guitar gallery process was definitely informed by the systems that are in place at D'Addario. The other great thing is we use a lot of D'Addario products, not because they're a great partner, because it's a great product. Like our replacement strings are D'Addario strings. We buy them in sleeves, and if a string's broken and it's the right string for the guitar, that's the one we use.
When we take those strings off, we actually have designed spaces inside our guitar shop and guitar gallery where we throw those strings into in a recycling bin. Every couple months, we send boxes back to D'Addario through the string recycling program. Last year, we recycled 250,000 strings from the Sweetwater side, which is pretty cool to be a small part of that program and ensure those strings are used for something else in the future.
Our techs, in a lifespan of a year in the guitar gallery, touch about 10,000 guitars. So that capo gets compressed 10,000 times. So those products do wear out. We use D'Addario cables because they hold up the test of time. That's 10,000 guitars plugged in.
So there's all these little things that we do with D'Addario because it's the right thing to do for us, because we could trust that product every time.
At Sweetwater, we're constantly trying to come from this place, this mantra of we make musical dreams come true. And I think we kind of see a kindred spirit in D'Addario as a company. The way that they interact with us, they're constantly responsive. They're looking for feedback. We use D'Addario strings on the warranty repairs. We do that because the techs trust it and the customers trust it.
It's consistent with Sweetwater's history of we just want to add more value. Chuck had a phrase for it, lagniappe. It's a Southern phrase. It means we want to just add a little bit of extra value or unexpected value. And so you think about the heart and soul of this company. You know, we want to have a great selection and great prices, but at Sweetwater, we always want to just add a little bit more value, whether it's that inspection, whether it's the guitar gallery, whether it's the 2-year warranty that comes with most of our products, the tech support, even the candy in the box. We put a lot of energy into where is this next generation of music makers going to come from? And are we doing a good job in the school systems of kind of sparking that creativity? And what more can we do as an industry? And so we've put a lot of energy in recently to partnering with the educators, bringing more music into the schools, not just selling instruments, but we're now renting instruments nationwide. We're starting to see some data come back that says we're actually bending the curves. We're seeing more students stick with music, get to that aha moment. Oh, I am creative. This is fun. And then you just think about the journey that that's going to create, you know, beyond that school instrument. Now I'm trying guitar. Now I'm recording. And so we hope that what we're doing is just creating the future of music makers.
The academy that we have here at Sweetwater, it's fantastic. Customer comes in with the student and gets to go into one of these great rooms that's designed all around the lesson plan that the student is doing. We have cool video cameras in there so our parents can see what's going on. But if they want to, they could walk over and go grab a coffee and use our free Wi-Fi and hang out. We have well over 1,000 students every given week coming in taking lessons, which is pretty fantastic.
Everything at Sweetwater starts with heart. We're in it for love of the game. We want to care for these customers as friends. We want to get to know you, do the right thing for you. Where's your musical passion? What are the goals? We're in it for lifelong journeys with customers. And whether that journey weaves through the website, over the phone, we're in it for that entire relationship.
We use this tagline, this phrase that we make musical dreams come true, all the way back to 1979. Chuck started Sweetwater because he wanted to help his friends make music. That still holds true 40 plus years later in a much larger volume and concept than what we have now, with the largest music store in the country right here in Fort Wayne, Indiana.